And you managed to get yourself fit to get back for the finale, which is, was such memorable times. There was obviously, wasn't there? There was different games. I think it was Burton at home that if we'd have won and Stevenage hadn't, or not, Torquay hadn't have beaten Stevenage, we'd have won it, and that didn't happen. And then we went to Gravesend and Northfleet on a Tuesday night. It didn't happen, so we had to go to Exeter, and knowing that a point would be sufficient, you were in there. You're in this lineup. You played 90 minutes, and it is the most historic night that the football club ever had, and you played a big part in that. But what are your memories first of that evening?
Just the build up. I think it was very nervous on the way up to there. We were very, very nervous. We knew like we was on tally and stuff, and we could clinch it that day, and that it was full of nerves. But like I remember Cooley saying, like before the game, said at the end, he said, "Take this all in. You might never have this feeling again. Take it in and enjoy it." And he was right. I listened to him. I thought, never have this. Got plenty more of these moments, and he was right, because I never had a moment like that again. So I remember the game. It was really tense. And Scott Donnelly, I think I pulled the ball back to Scott Donnelly. Scott scored, didn't he? Scott Donnelly scored that goal.
Here come Aldershot, who want to wrap up this championship. Grant, Donnelly, Harriet didn't hold it, and Aldershot are level. And it's a first ever league goal for Scott Donnelly.
And just the feeling of relief after the game, and seeing John McGinty run onto the pitch crying, and seeing some of the fans crying and stuff. And was it Scotty Davis? Yeah, Scotty Davis running on the pitch with his crutches and stuff. I think he was injured at the time. It was just a surreal feeling, and it was good to jump into the crowd and enjoy it with the fans, that moment. And these are memories that, we'll keep forever. It was a great, great day. And I think at the end of the night as well, the BT fella, he gave us a tab on the bar as well. So we hammered his card at the end. Nicky Bull hammered the card. I think we was only supposed to get one drink each, but we all come out of there legless, like onto the coach. So that was funny. I remember that. And it was we was all singing on the way back on the coach. Everyone had to get up and do their own song. That was just great memories. Great memories.
What was your song?
But mine was Bob Marley. I like Bob Marley, so mine was like "Don't Worry About a Thing." So yeah, I was always Bob Marley. Yeah, so I'd sing that on the way back. Brilliant.
Did you and the group of players, did they know how significant it was for the football club to get the name of Aldershot back into the Football League, knowing that the previous club had folded in 1992, and the dream was always to get back to the Football League, and it'd taken 16 years? Were you aware inside the club how significant that was for the fans?
I wasn't totally aware of the rise of the Phoenix and stuff like that. I honestly wasn't. Like when we started watching videos and that, when we won the league and you did the end of season video, and I seen links below, I clicked into them and started reading them. I thought, wow. And then Bully told me all about it, to be fair, because I didn't know anything about it. I think it was when Mr. Borg was he chairman of the club or something, when the club went down this summer.
No. George was a manager, good manager. Yeah. Before then, it was before that. It was in 1992 the club were thrown out the Football League mid-season with 10 games left, and so we were the first Football League club in 30 years to be kicked out whilst the season was still going, and then the club had to start again at the Isthmian League Division 3. So it had to climb from 5 divisions to get back to the Football League. So, and of course, he played that part in that final season, but it would have been a long journey to get back to where the fans deemed that Aldershot should be, because they'd been a professional club for 60 years before they folded.
Yeah, so I can imagine like the feeling that the fans had then to have to go through all that and and then get Football League. Now I understand it more, because I didn't quite understand it at the time. So no, it's great times, and happy for the fans to experience that, and I just want to see the club back in the Football League as soon as possible. I'm sure they can do it. It's a funny season this year. Anyone can go up, but I know like Stockport spent a lot of money and stuff. They'll be up there. But Aldershot, when I watched them the Ocean games, they played a good brand of football. And I spoke to Danny Searle at the end in Anwar, because I played with Anwar at Telford, and they seem optimistic about the group as well. I think got a key player injured at the moment. He was talking about, I think the number 10 plays off the strikers.
Yep.
It's a really challenge, really.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge at the moment. It's a different world these days, I think, in terms of trying to get back to the football league. But we'll come to that a bit later on. I've got a couple of questions to ask you on that. But another player that you just mentioned, who was a key part of that and a key part of the club's history, is Nicky Bull. And what's it like having a goalkeeper of that magnitude and what he brought to the squad? How important was that role that he had?
Brilliant, mate. Best captain I played with, knitted everyone together. Bully coming. And at times, I think Brentford and a few other clubs were interested in him at the time. And he went for a moment where he was a bit down because he couldn't, I think he'd been there long enough and wanted to go and play in the league and what have you. But his performances on the pitch and in the way he trained is a brilliant, the best leader I played with, Bully was. And a good lad as well. He could have a crack with him. He had a dry sense of humour, just drop little one-liners in. And then him and Ricky Newman together, they were just, you couldn't compete with them two when it comes to like banter in the dressing room. But Bully was brilliant with everyone. Any new faces come in, he'd take care of them. A true leader, Bully, a true leader, and probably the best keeper I've played with in my career. He was brilliant.
So we win the Conference Championship. We're promoted to the Football League. Your top scorer with 25 goals. We win the Setanta Shield as well. It doesn't really get any better than that as a season, does it, for any footballer?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Would have been nice to win the FA Trophy though as well. That would have been good. I was really gutted about that because I was injured for the game. I remember it was one game away from being at Wembley, and I put the final on. Gravesend versus might have been next. Was it Torquay? Yeah, and I couldn't watch it. So I turned that off. But yeah, we would have got FA Trophy as well. That would have been brilliant, But couldn't complain. I wouldn't swap, going up as champions for anything else. So yeah, it was a great season, the best season of my life. Yeah.
And so we're in the Football League. You celebrate your 27th birthday by playing in the first ever Football League game for the club at Accrington Stanley. Scott Donnelly scores the winner. Marvin Morgan had come to the club as well, another character there. And how did you find that all of a sudden, the club was on a high because it's in the Football League, playing teams that we hadn't played for years and years and years. And, there's something about the Football League that's different without any question.
100%. There's more eyes on you, isn't there? And there's more publicity, in the news and what have you. I found it great. I would have liked to have done more. But I remember the first game at Accrington away. It was a great atmosphere and it was great. I think Scott Donnelly won it. Scott Donnelly scored. That was brilliant. And my season went the way the first game went really well. On 1-on-1 of it, the outside of the post versus Accrington. But I enjoyed it. That was a great day out at Accrington and full of ups and downs that season. But I took it all in, the downs and the ups. As a footballer, you've got to do that. And
I think you played 40 games in that first season. You scored your first goal at Luton Town. I think that's a game Ricky Newman might have been sent off. We lost it, but that was your first goal there. But I don't think there was any big expectation on the club that year, was there? Because it was just great to be in the Football League and just to sort of cement our place there was probably as much as anybody could hope for at that time.
I think that's what you want to do when it's a step up, but you take each game as it comes. You still want to win every game that you go into. But I think just to stay up the first season would have been a great season for me personally. I always wanted to always get double figures in the Football League, so that was a bit frustrating. I think in the end, in the 8th season, I think I started. You're the stats man. I think I started about 25 and scored 6. Was it 6?
Yeah, 6 goals. Yeah, 6 goals. Yeah.
6 goals in 25, and then the following season I got 3 in 5. So when I look back at it, I think. In the National League, as they call it now, it was like 1 in 2, 1 and 2.5. And then when I went into the Football League, I scored 9 in total, 9 in 30. You might have it. I think 30 games, 9 in 30 games. So when I looked at it and I reflected, I thought, you know what? It's not as bad as I really thought at the time, because I watch a lot of League 2 strikers now. And I think if you're getting 7 or 8 goals, you stay in League 2. then I think if you're getting like 10 to 15, a lot of the times you can get a move up to League One. So I was beating myself up a lot of the times, thinking, you know, I want to get this 15, 20 goals a season. And when I look at it, I looked at my stats in League Two for Aldershot. I scored nine goals in 30 starts. It's like, and that's like in and out of the team a lot of the time. So it weren't that bad, but I've got high standards. I wanted better, you know, wanted better for the club.
Do you put pressure on yourself, or do you feel the pressure the longer you go as a striker without scoring a goal?
You feel the pressure. It's the pressure that you put on yourself. It's not no one else, because I was always one. Even if I went in a game and I scored two, I'd always think about the two I missed. So you've got to always, you know, strive for perfection, and I was always like that. But the worst thing was if you didn't score and you lost the game, it just ruined your weekend as a player. For me, it did anyway. So we lost on a Saturday. No one could talk to me on a Saturday night. I couldn't even go out. I'd probably just get back to myself and I'm having my Sunday roast. But still, it'd be running through my mind, you know, about the game and stuff. And that's just being proud, you know, wanting to do the best for the football club and for yourself and your family and all the fans. So yeah, you do put pressure on yourself, but it kind of doesn't help if you let it creep into your confidence as well, you know.
Yeah. So the 09-10 season starts, and it starts well. We're in a playoff position, but that's when Gary Waddock leaves. He gets the opportunity to go to Wycombe Wanderers. And talk to me about that period and what it meant to you as a player and the squad, and of course a manager that had been involved in such success. And you know, there must have been a lot of turbulence behind the scenes on that one.
Yeah, 100%. I remember him coming in and talking to us all as a group, like, and we were gutted. It's like losing. You're a family. It's a family club. And, you know, when someone says they don't want to be a part of the family anymore, it can be upsetting and stuff. But, you know, everyone has their own decisions to make. And Gal felt like he could go to Wycombe, you know, and further his career and what have you. Maybe he thought like Aldershot can get to such a level and Wycombe can get to higher levels, like they're in the Championship now, aren't they? So you got to respect that, you know. Because, you know, equally, if he's not doing too well at Aldershot, then, you know, he gets the bullet at Aldershot, and that's the way it is. But it was gutted. It's like losing a family member, isn't it? You know, when you lose a member of your team. And then Cooley went with him as well. So there's a bit, you know, there's no stability there at the time for a lot of us, really.
And it had Jason Dodd and Paul Williams came in as the caretaker role. What do you remember of those, their role?
Loved them. I still speak to Doddy. Doddy was brilliant. He was brilliant. I liked him. You know, I really liked Doddy. I really wish he would have stayed. He was really good. He was very similar to Gow as well. I think he come from a youth background as well, and I really liked him. I really wanted him, and I think Paul Williams wanted them both to stay, but I don't know what happened. They went and they brought Dillon in, didn't they? So went from there.
And that's right. Kevin Dillon came in the November. What do you remember about Kevin's arrival?
I remember him coming in and he's speaking to us all, saying everyone will get like a clean slate and stuff like that. But I didn't feel like with me it was like. But I remember Junior Mendes saying to me when I signed a new contract, he said, "Oh, it's good. Like you got a new contract, but you know the problem is when you got a new contract and you're up there with the highest earners. I think me and Bully were." You're the first people look to get out if you're not doing it, to get them off the wage bill. And I just felt I didn't feel wanted by Dillon. I really didn't. But I found it strange because when we were training at Reading's training ground, and I remember training really well. We was having an in-house game there, and I'd done really well. And he's come up to me and he said, "Granty," because Paul McDermott was Paul McDermott, the old Reading manager?
Brian McDermott.
Yeah. He was watching, and he's come up to me and he put his arm around me, Kevin. He said, "Look, just, you know, get yourself back in the team, get some goals. You just never know." Matt Dermott over there were asking about. He said he likes you. So, and they were Championship at the time. And then I just don't feel like I really got a run of games with him. I think I started 5 and scored 3 under Kevin Dillon. And remember scoring 2 v Barnet. And then we played him in Boxing Day. And he brought me off at half time. And I felt like I had more to give. And that pre-season, because I was gutted about the last season only getting 6 goals. I really worked hard. I was training 3 times a day. I came in the fittest I'd ever been. So me and Danny Hilton won the bleak test and what have you. And I thought, right, if I could get really a good go at it this season, then, you know, I can get the goals that I want to get. But it didn't happen under Kevin Dillon. And the thing is, people, you know, they want to bring their own players in, and you got to respect that. And he's gone on and he done really well. I think he got us to the playoffs, didn't he? So maybe his decision that he made was right. But the thing I do respect about him, he told him again, he was straight. You know, when he said, look, you're not part of my plans, you can go here, you can go there. He was straight with me, and he didn't treat me any worse, you know, in training, even though I weren't part of his plan. So I respect that about him. I respect what he did for the club as well, to be fair.
And so you went on loan to Oxford United, and did you? I think you probably already alluded to it. You felt there that your time at Aldershot was sort of running down then. Yeah,
it was like, I thought like maybe Chris Wilder, you know, can get me back into it, you know, get me back loving football again, because I stopped loving it. Loving it now. I was having problems like not seeing my children and stuff. But I think as soon as I left Aldershot, I fell out of love with football. I was just there. I was just at Oxford, but there was no real desire there. I was there training and stuff, just kind of going through the motions. So as soon as I left Aldershot, I just thought that was it. Wrexham wanted to sign me in the summer after the Oxford loan, and I met Dean Saunders. He's speaking to me in a pub, but speaking to me about salaries and stuff. He's going to give me the best contract I've had in football. And I was like, it was just going through me. I was like, I'm not interested. I don't even really want to play. So I plodded along, didn't play for a bit, and then went to other clubs and played. But again, there was no real energy to really want to do it, you know. And you've got to really love football, you know, to carry on and give your best and do your best. And I felt like, it's like when you leave a relationship and your heart's broken. I felt like my heart was broken in football when I left Aldershot, if I'm being honest. History of a lot of players, when they leave Aldershot, they're not the same player. They don't do as well for their other clubs. Look at it, Aldershot, you know, once you get there, I was hoping that, you know, there'd forever be a football league team, and it was it was sad to see him go back down.